I am cooking in my kitchen. Ah, cabinets. It's been kind of a weird couple days. I've been very nostalgic over. I don't know if nostalgic is the word, and like introspective about how I got where I am in my career and life and even location. I'm back in Indiana now somehow, and it is a small town, and I'm kind of feeling that like, I am in a small town with people I don't know and no one necessarily beside me at the moment. So at least physically, but a lot has changed since I went to college. I was bored, so go figure. I looked at a play I had written kind of about my college experience, specifically my freshman and some of sophomore year, and the people I knew and the experiences we went through and all these other things. And a lot has changed since that time I was referring to. I went to school or I went to college in 2004 to 2008, and the time period we're talking about is like 2004 to 2005. And TVs were boxes, and cell phones I had just barely gotten for the first time, and I wasn't even texting and all these other things. It was just a very different time. Like when I look at video footage or photographs from that time, it's like not anywhere near the same quality, and it looks dated. It just looks like a different time in the world. So it's just weird how life changes and you go from one place to another and you think it's gonna be a certain way when it comes to like knowing people and your relationships with them and what your friendships with them are. And yeah, it's just different. I feel like recently I felt like I spent 4 years in St. Louis, and I feel like I made friends there, and I had gotten to the point where I knew people, and I was doing things, and even though I didn't have like a secure line of work at the time, I feel like, you know, I felt comfortable. I feel like I was like getting places, and I've just moved so damn often since then. I spent 2 years in New Jersey and nearly two in Omaha, and now I'm here, and like the connections I've made just haven't been the same. Like each time I move, I don't know if it's me and I'm like just forced, and I just like am resistant to making those connections, or it's just harder as I get older, and like everybody, and there's less and less people that I connect with, whether it's they're just not in the same phase of life or different personalities, or I don't know. There's just fewer people out there that I can bond to. So this play has been interesting. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, it's very like angsty, and I mean, it was written in response to my feelings and some not necessarily negative feelings, but you know, things I went through at the time, first relationships forming and falling apart and that sort of thing. So I mean, it's reflective of how I felt. But at other times I look at it and I go like, this could be doable. Like the set's not complicated. I wrote it in a way that it's simple to put on, because I, you know, had that sort of understanding of what you would need and what was excessive and stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty simple. It just takes place in like a dormitory, and it's got some surreal elements, but it's very easily staged. So it does make me think like, you know, taking a break between writing the larger fantasy books, if this isn't something I could try to put on. Like there's a couple colleges here in Evansville. So there's like something of a theater scene, but I don't know like who would want to do this or why. I mean, I guess I would have to form those theater connections, which I haven't had since St. Louis, but it's an interesting thought process. It would be cool to see this performed. I think I would need somebody's outside look at it to see if, you know, it's likable. Like I feel like I was reminded of a play I saw recently where I didn't really like the characters, and they just skipped the whole part of the beginning where there's something to make you connect with them and give crap about what they do. And I feel like that kind of isn't there with with that story, but you know, since it's something I'm so familiar with, I might not be able to judge for myself. So, but I guess that just speaks to something I thought about when my friend was in town. A friend from college. I knew him like the last semester, I want to say, of senior year. He came back in to start finishing his degree, and he's a cool dude. And he did theater for years and years. Now he's a pharmaceutical rep, but he still has his connections. And he was, when I met him up with him recently, he was talking about like ways I could. He didn't like push it, but you know, the topic came to like things I could be doing to push artistic ventures forward. And it just reminds me of the fact that sometimes I am scared of like going for that next step, I guess. I don't know if that's just because like maybe failure could happen. I don't know. I mean, I suppose a little bit of me thinks that every time, you know, you try to reach out and connect with somebody and you're rejected, that you're like less likely to do that in the future. So I should probably get to finishing this meal, but that is the rant for today. Thanks for listening.